Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Praise the Run podcast. I'm Ben. This is Patrick.
Hey.
What's up, Patrick?
Nothing.
How's your week going?
Not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're a couple days late on the podcast. I started a new job.
Nice.
I'm working nights now. So
Yeah.
I've been...
Back to that.
Yeah. I'm working 10 o'clock at night to 6 in the morning. And now it's 2:30 now, but I've been up since I woke up at noon.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went and got gas and a vape because my vape died. And then I started getting the show ready and stuff. And big news happened today. We'll get to that towards the back half of the show. But I started reading about that. It seems like all of the games industry is on fire right now. Nothing new.
Yeah, right. Same old then.
I'm in my pajamas that I definitely wore. I wore the shirt yesterday, so this is filthy.
Nice.
Yeah.
No one knew that, but
No.
I guess you had to let them know.
Well, I don't know. I've been wiping my nose on my shirt and stuff. So
Oh, yeah.
maybe there's like snot trails and shit.
Right.
Whatever. Fuck it.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. How have you been? How did your show go? You had a show this morning.
Oh, no, I didn't go.
Oh no.
Yeah. It's getting weird.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of just giving it some space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, doing a show at noon.
No, not even that. It's just the guy who's running it's just, I don't want to talk about it, but it's getting weird. So
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm gonna...
Get away from that.
Yeah.
No, totally. Yeah. That's the weird thing with, like, getting people to, like... When you get... It's not, like, a company, so it's, like, this dude's just throwing on a show, and then you gotta be, like, in his good graces to
Right,
get into
yeah.
the show, and that's how all comic shit is like that, right? It's
Yeah.
It's who you know, and then if that person's a fucking a douche or whatever, it's
Right.
just...
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
You're
just
kinda
not gonna...
stuck with that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna show up to these shows, I guess. And then that takes a mic away from you, which sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird, but it's whatever. I'm not, like, too worried about it. But, I mean, it's still a good time.
Yeah.
I'm just going to take a break.
Yeah.
Let everyone else kind of do their thing and then show up again later.
Hell yeah.
But, I mean, other than that, things are fine.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
new adventures this week.
Nothing too crazy. I mean, just regular comedy stuff and work.
Nice.
I'm not doing it. I mean, I'm going to play disc golf today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's why I got this backwards hat.
Fucking
It's
giant bombs getting into disc golf, too.
Yeah.
And they've been talking of...
A bunch of people well, I mean, the weather's getting nice.
Right.
So everyone's, back to the outdoor stuff. But a bunch of people that I work with are around my age, and they all do it anyways.
Yeah.
So they got me a few discs that they just found
Hell yeah.
piled up, So now I just have like a handful of discs in my trunk.
Do you know, like, ratings or anything that you prefer?
No, I haven't
like
got
that?
into that or nothing like that. I just have a stack of discs in my trunk that I'm going to toss around and see which one, calls my name, like a wand on Harry Potter or something, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that... There's, like... It's like golf, for sure, because there's, like, drivers and
Yeah, there's
putters
different
and
types
shit.
of... I know, like, what the different discs look like as far as, like, the driver or the putter or whatever. Like, they're shaped a little differently. They're weighted a little differently. I think
Yeah.
I only have drivers right now.
Oh.
Just because you can kind of do a driver for anything. You don't really necessarily need a putter. It's just better that for that situation. But,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
if you throw a regular driver straight, it'll still hit the net. It's just, yeah.
It's so weird to get into, like, a hobby where, like, everything seems like you need to research everything. You can't just, like, get into something.
Yeah, this is one of those things that you kind of can. I mean, if you want to get, like, decent or whatever, yeah, sure, you can be specific with stuff. But, I mean, you could play with a regular Frisbee if you wanted to. No one's stopping you, I mean, the only reason why I'm, like, getting into it is just to, like, it's an excuse to force myself outside. So I don't spend my 3 days literally indoors. I push all of my errands into the last day, so I don't have to leave the house until Thursday, minus comedy. And since comedy is at night, technically I am outside, but I don't consider it outside because
Right,
it's
you're not
nighttime.
seeing
You
the
know?
sun.
Right. So it's like this. That's the most outside. So, and even then, I'm like going into another building.
Yeah.
So, but I need outdoor time. I need the natural. I need all that.
Me too.
My body's, it's getting older, and I can't just sit inside all day as much as I want to. And also, just it helps. It's like mentally too. It helps because when I'm locked in the room the whole time,
you feel.
I'm just constantly circulating through things I have to do or what I'm doing or blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But at least if I'm outside, it's like, a huge distraction. It's calming.
Yeah.
The weather's nice right now.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is I'll just sit outside.
Mm-hmm.
Even not being active, I'll just like sit out there.
Even that's great. But
yeah.
Where I live, it's not. At least like you kind of have this yard or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Or you can go to the park.
If I was at like our old apartments, I would probably put a chair outside, but then you're kind of running the risk of like somebody snatching it or something like that.
Right. Exactly.
And that's a whole deal. But yeah, thankfully we have the yard. I don't have my chair anymore because that broke like a while ago. But
yeah.
I'll just open up all the windows of my car and have the car door open.
Yeah, that works
like
too.
That for a bit. But I'll do all of the YouTube and Pokemon store promotions, sitting out there just so I have a little bit of time in the sun.
Yeah.
Especially now that I'll be working nights and stuff. I haven't done really anything this week because all my extra money has been going to gas to get out to work, but then because of the time schedule, kind of like most of my day has been like taking naps.
Right. Well, you have to readjust.
Yeah.
You're gonna take a couple weeks to recalibrate or whatever.
Yeah. This
flip flop.
Yeah. Yesterday I think I slept like 5 times in total, but each time was like for an hour.
I feel like you just got used to sleeping during the day or during the night, like a regular thing,
For sure, I did. Yeah. Now everything's back to being all hectic and stuff.
Right, you have to like replan how you want to buy things and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, now I got to go at this time to get my vape and donuts.
Yeah, that's a whole thing. Is like because we go upstate for all of our weed, and it's an hour drive, and then it's 40 minutes the opposite way to work.
Right.
So for like the next couple weeks, I'm getting a paper check only. So I'll be like driving all the way there to get my check, and then if I want to go do something, then I gotta make sure that I have time to go all the way to Mass and then go all the way back.
Yeah.
To the bottom of Connecticut. In the furthest bottom of Connecticut you could go.
Yeah, that sucks.
It is what it is, though. I don't know. I like it out there. Last night when I went out, it was like, oh yeah, we're so close to the ocean that it just like it smells great out here because it smells like the ocean.
Coastal places are nice.
It was nice. I was like, I wouldn't mind moving out here.
Yeah.
But then it gets cold
It's
the rest of the year
too.
Yeah, Westerly's in Rhode Island, like across the border, is a little bit cheaper. But that's a giant bar town, and there's like, it's a pain in the ass to drive anywhere out there.
Right.
Unless you get outside, I guess, of the main part of the city. But yeah, Mystic is expensive, very expensive. Like $2,000, $3,000 for a 1-bedroom.
Yeah.
Kind of expensive. No, thank you. But I don't know. Maybe if it was warm all year round.
Yeah, you're not gonna find that up here.
Yeah. You want to get into some game news?
Sure.
We'll start with the oldest news. This happened like almost as soon as we stopped recording. Or maybe like the day after. I don't remember when. What's the date today? The 21st? This happened the 14th. Sony Interactive has named Herman Holst and Hideki Hideki Nishino as the new joint CEOs of PlayStation Business, succeeding Jim Ryan from June 1st, 2024. This is from the Video Games Chronicle. Andy Robinson is writing this. Holst, who was previously head of PlayStation Studios and Guerrilla Games, will become the CEO of the new Studio Business Group, responsible for all PlayStation Games content, as well as bringing its franchises to new mediums such as film and television. Nishino, who was previously SVP of Sony Interactive Entertainment Platform Experience Group, that's a mouthful, will be appointed the CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment's Platform Business Group. So he's going for the senior vice president as CEO, which will see him continue to be responsible for technology, products, and services, as well as third-party publisher and developer relations, commercial operations. Hiroki Totoki, who has been serving as the interim CEO of SIE, since Jim Ryan's departure, will serve as the chairman of SIE in addition to his role as president, COO, and CFO of Sony Group Corporation. Jim Ryan left a while ago.
Yeah.
And, Jim Ryan's legacy, he killed that studio on his way out the door, so he has that on his back now, but, he kind of left us with all of these live service games, you remember?
Yeah.
PlayStation Showcase, and that's just a bunch of crazy first-person shooters that we just don't know when they're coming out. It was Fair Games, Concord. It seems like with all that and Hiroki Totoki, it seems like they are, I don't know, it seems like that they're not going to go through with this, they're going to get these games out and then go back to the way things are with Herman Holst being ahead.
Yeah.
He was the studio head of Guerrilla, who is in charge of, that's the Horizon team. Horizon Forbidden Dawn and Zero West, and then they did Killzone before that. And I don't know so much about his movie and directing stuff. I haven't looked into the credits or anything, but that's a huge part of what they're doing now too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do you have any thoughts? And two new CEOs to replace the original. It's kind of crazy.
That's cool. I don't have any negative thoughts, but it's about time, I guess.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
But two heads are better than one, I suppose. Maybe one guy's covering more of the game side, and one guy's covering more of the directorial side or something.
Yeah, it seems like we got the games guy and the money guy.
Right. So, that could end up being great as well. I don't have any issues with it. I think it's good.
Yeah.
It's a good positive thing in the game world right now, I guess.
Yeah, I don't have any issues with it.
I don't know how they were chosen necessarily, or if there was some sort of gauntlet or something, but
the dude who's been senior vice president, I've never heard of him before.
Yeah.
Herman Holst is, he's out in front of cameras all the time. He's a lot more Jim Ryan wasn't he was on camera every once in a while, but old CEOs like Andrew House or Sean Layden, they were a lot more front facing.
Yeah.
Herman Holst is probably a good fit for that. And a Japanese CEO as well is a big deal, because we haven't had a Japanese CEO in the PlayStation side in a very long time.
Yeah.
And so much so that they've pretty much killed all their Japanese development. Japan Studios and stuff is gone. It's Team Asobi is their only Japanese studio, which makes Astrobot. With Xbox, on the other hand, though, last week, they just axed 4 studios because they don't have according to them, they don't have the manpower to oversee all of these studios.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. On the other hand, Xbox is trying to get into the Japanese market and has failed over the last almost 30 years trying to break in there. So they finally got a Japanese studio and got rid of it. with Tango last week.
Yeah.
I don't know what Sony is going to do, because a lot of the Japanese titles, I would say, are probably some of the best selling coming out.
Yeah.
I don't know if they are going to double back on this, like, live service thing now that Helldivers is out.
Right. Yeah.
It was just announced that Helldivers has reached 15 million copies.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's insane. That's the first PlayStation title to come day and date on PC and console. So there's a lot of things that they could be looking at. I have no clue what they want to do. I don't know what I want them to do either. I didn't pull the story up, but Square Enix pretty much has said, hey, we didn't make a lot of money from Final Fantasy 16 or Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. And it's because of it being an exclusive. So if other Japanese companies are trying to step away from the exclusive game, it's like, what does Sony do? I don't know what they want to do, because they're putting out games at least.
Yeah.
We got Helldivers. What else was this year? Rise of the Ronin came out earlier this year. That was second party. And then there was something else that I thought came out this year, but Xbox, on the other hand, can't put out a game to save their life, and when they finally do, they killed the studio. I don't know. We'll get a showcase soon, and we'll kind of get like a better picture. Is there anything that you're looking forward to? Anything that you want
from Xbox
or from PlayStation?
I mean,
Xbox. It's like, I don't even know what I would want from them, because it's like, what do they have anymore?
Right. Yeah.
I don't know what. Bring back Conquer.
Yeah.
It's
right.
like the one thing that I can think of.
No, I don't know. I want to get a PlayStation. The next gen, I definitely want to get, because I've been riding Xboxes for a while after, because I just so happen to be able to get them.
Right.
Not even from the store, people I knew were selling them at the time.
Right.
So I just coincidentally have had an Xbox for a while, but I've always wanted to get back into getting the newest PlayStation.
Yeah.
Though the Xbox Game Pass has done me pretty well, so I can't complain about that.
Yeah, Game Pass. Game Pass is definitely the best deal in gaming, and a Xbox Series S is, I think, $250 now.
Yeah.
It's super cheap. I think you can buy a used PS5 now with a disc model for $450. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I want from a future PlayStation, but I definitely don't want the live service thing to. I don't want them to fall in the same trap that Xbox is finding themselves in.
Yeah.
And the rest of the gaming industry is finding themselves in, where they're putting so much money into these live service games that everything else is faltering, and because of that, they can't ever seem to make any ground.
Right.
Because they're dumping all this money into this, but are not making enough to support everything else. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully they find a happy medium. Personally, I don't play a lot of live service games just because I don't like talking to people when I'm playing games. So
Well, I mean,
I guess that is an option. You don't necessarily have to talk to anyone.
right?
But it's
You do though. You Marvel Snap, Rocket League, Minecraft, like
oh, I guess that's true. Yeah.
yeah.
But you don't have to play.
These are free to play games.
Yeah.
That are live service. But that's how they make their money. They get you in that door, right? And then maybe you buy a skin.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
And then if you don't buy a skin, then advertising is gonna pay its way. Which like I don't know. I haven't been on Rocket League in a long time, but I'd imagine that somebody is paying for. I don't think Epic is paying for all those licenses.
No, I mean yeah, right. No, I'm sure someone's.
I'm sure they're making.
But that's definitely.
Money.
I mean, they're doing a Star Wars thing right now.
Right.
So I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeez, May the 4th, right?
Right. I can only imagine. Who bought that?
Right. Apex is another thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which who knows where Apex is gonna be in the next year or so. That's a game I'm interested in. Of like, you don't hear about that game anymore. It's
yeah,
one of those
they're
things
really
that's, like,
just struggling. I think.
Yeah.
It was great when it came out. I think it came out at the perfect time because it was like the peak of the coronavirus or whatever. So
right.
like everyone was freaking out, but like stuck at home. It was a good game. I mean, I still like to play it sometimes, but
was it COVID? I thought it came out before COVID. Well, I mean, COVID probably gave it a bigger bump for sure. How old's Apex now?
I remember. I mean,
Jeez.
the first season was still. They hadn't started seasons yet during COVID, so if it was out, it was just like a game.
Jeez, when did it come out though?
But
release date.
Now it's like I feel like they just rushed all the characters. Now they have like a ton of characters.
February of 2019.
Yeah.
So it was a year before, but it took that long for them to get seasons going and stuff. That's crazy.
Well, I think that they really got a big pop.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
And then that's when people were like, "Oh shit, let's play this," and then.
But now that it says like, what is their most recent season? Apex Legends season. Oh, we're in like season 2020? Yeah, season 21.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw something that was like season 7.
No, they're really far. And almost every one of those seasons comes with a new character, so it went from like 8 characters to almost 30.
That was another thing, is like they had like 2 character reveals and then they just stopped talking about new characters.
Yeah, completely. But they drop one all the time.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like it's like almost too much now. People can't even learn the meta of the first. They like just kept stuffing so much. Like they just kept changing it.
Do they have like crazy differences and stuff like that, or are they just all now generic super soldiers?
No, they're all pretty different. They all have. I mean, some of them have similar abilities. Like one is a grapple, one is a trampoline. Yeah. It's like but they also it's similar but different.
Yeah. Maybe I'm just not looking in the right circles or anything, but I swear I haven't seen a trailer. But all these other live service games that are character-based, that's their whole bread and butter is character trailers. Like,
yeah, I mean, maybe they still do. I mean, I guess it doesn't... I have Apex pinned on my Xbox, so, like, I'll naturally just see the updates and stuff. So maybe... I mean, I don't know if...
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm on YouTube all the time and I haven't seen it, but also I'm not looking for it just because...
I don't really see it on YouTube either, though.
I don't think about it, but...
I don't know. I feel like they're just kind of low-key, and if you know, fan base type thing.
A lot of a lot of the games industry seems low-key, but a lot of EA specifically, like... I mean, Respawn is the only one putting out games that are worth a damn. And then you have the sports side of EA, which has been hit or miss, and then they're dealing with like all of the NCAA stuff where they're finally putting real college players in the college football game and stuff, and giving them royalties, which has been like an ongoing lawsuit for like almost, it's been a decade now since the last NCAA. It was 2014. But that ended because of the NCAA didn't want their players to be paid.
Right.
So, yeah, EA was like, well, we're just not going to put out games because we can't pay these people for their likeness. But now that that's finally taken care of, the FIFA thing's finally taken care of, maybe they can get back to developing decent games.
Maybe.
But, like, there's no word of a Dead Space 2 remake or a new Dead Space. That would have been probably the ideal thing for Motive. And then Respawn is theoretically making a third Star Wars game for Jedi.
Yeah. Their
other Star Wars game just got canceled. They were making a first-person shooter Star Wars game that got canceled. It never got confirmed, but that was rumored for a long time. And then Vince Zampella, who's the head of Respawn, is just now like head of all of EA's live service stuff. So he's like in charge of Apex, Jedi, and then also in charge of all of what DICE is going on in their Battlefield shit. And Battlefield can't get their shit together, and they haven't been able to in a long time.
Right. That's weird.
Yeah. There's another thing of like this dude's running like 4 or 5 studios, and I don't think he has the time to run 4 or 5 studios that are spread across the entire world.
Right. Yeah, I can't imagine, with their own individual unique issues and.
Yeah, like he's an American dude. Most of EA is in Europe, and then if they're not in Europe, they're in like Canada or fucking Australia, right? You know, like
just constantly on airplanes,
right? Which is one of the reasons why Jim Ryan was like, "Yeah, this ain't cutting it anymore." He was like, "I'm traveling all the time, man." He's based out of London. Sony Interactive headquarters is in Japan. Most of Sony Entertainment, PlayStation wise, is in the U.S.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, and then you got every single PlayStation studio all around. So like, Jim Ryan's going all over the place, you know.
Basically on tour all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd imagine he's like sleeping in his bed like maybe twice a week, you know.
If that, yeah.
Right. Yeah, so I'd imagine like having Herman Hulse take care of the European American side, and then have the money counting Japanese side up there, not having to travel far. I mean, maybe that you'll see that dude more often, but I doubt it. I think you'll see what's his name, Hideki Nishone. He will. I think you won't hear from him often.
Yeah.
I think if anybody from Japanese side, it would be Hiroki Totoki.
Yeah.
Coming back out and saying like, I mean, probably if next time you see his face, it'll probably him killing some type of initiative. As I don't know how long Bungie has under PlayStation.
No.
You know, like Destiny ain't doing it, and Hiroki Totoki has been very vocal about how little Destiny makes and how much money that they're spending on the studio. They bought Bungie for like $2.6 billion, and it hasn't been profitable.
Dang. Well, I mean, yeah, Destiny was good at the time.
Yeah, but they've put out like 4 expansions.
Yeah.
And each one of those expansions costs money.
Right. Yeah, and I mean those. Yeah, people that were really into it, it's more become like a cult following than anything.
Right. And so like
it's like a Halo or something.
Well, I would say Halo is so is Destiny. I was gonna say Halo's free to play now, but so is Destiny. But Halo, you could just get into a match and just shoot your gun
That's
and
true,
kill
yeah.
a couple dudes. Destiny is an MMO and it's impenetrable.
Mm-hmm.
And then like even if you start getting into it, everybody is thousands of miles ahead of you. So
Yeah.
in order for you to catch up, it's just like almost impossible because
At this
nobody's
point.
running those same quests or anything.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah, at this point, it's so far along that, like, you kind of have to be in it.
right. It's not like Final Fantasy 14 where like you can do most of the quests alone.
Yeah.
They retooled all of the mainline games so you could do it alone. And then if you are going into these raids, like a lot of people are running those raids. A lot of people are there to help you do it.
Right.
You know, the Destiny community is not that.
No, absolutely.
The Destiny
not.
community is very toxic.
Yeah.
At least in my experience, you know? Like, I don't know. I haven't played Destiny 2, so maybe that's on me. But Destiny 1 was very much...
No, I remember, yeah. I could never get into it because everyone was, it's just too much.
Yeah.
It was not for me.
Destiny's not for me either. But who knows? Maybe we'll see a Destiny 3. We know that Marathon is apparently coming out next year. That's their answer to Tarkov, apparently. So we'll see how that does. I think...
I feel like we have enough Tarkov clones now to be, like, fulfilled that might not even matter anymore.
Right.
Because Tarkov was popular, like, a year and a half ago, and now it's like people have been making so many different renditions of it.
I would say, I mean, there's, like, 2 or 3 of them that I can think of that are pure extraction shooters.
Right.
Marathon is not that.
No.
The original Marathon is not that at all. It's a 1990s like Doom clone. Like
Okay.
it's a straight up boomer shooter. It's not.
But they're taking this new one and turning it to like a Tarkov boomer shooter or something.
Yeah, and it's like all cyberpunky and stuff. So it'll have its own aesthetic.
Right.
But yeah, and that's all hearsay. They haven't confirmed other than it being a first-person extraction shooter. They haven't said what extent. Like, it could be sweaty and hard like Tarkov, or it could be like an open world, you know, PvP quest thing.
Right.
Who knows? I don't know. We'll probably. I'd imagine we'll see that in December.
I feel like it's just gonna be too little, too late. But
yeah, for Bungie,
that's
probably.
That's my prediction.
Honestly, probably.
For that, but we'll see. I mean, it is being on console does make a difference, but
Right. And then Destiny also has its final expansion. Final. It's called the Final Shape. It's like the end of the story arc that they've been doing this whole time.
That's exciting. I mean, I guess that's mostly exciting for everyone who's already in that, but
Yeah. But the community doesn't seem excited.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It
Just 'cause
sounds
it's
exciting.
ending, or
I think it's just
the way the
because
story's going.
that, and I think there's just so much ill will built up against
Yeah.
Bungie because of how bad it's been. Like,
Right.
that Lightfall or whatever was their last expansion, did horribly.
Is this more or less like a scapegoat? Like, oh, we ended it, can't blame us anymore, or something? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I think this has been planned.
oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of games, I meant to pull this up. Games doing well, games not doing well. Hellblade 2 is out. Reviews are out. Let's go check the Metacritic.
Hellblade 2.
Yeah, speaking of Xbox putting out games, here we go. These are pretty mixed. Metacritic, Hellblade 2. Senua's Saga's Hellblade 2 has an 81 on Metacritic right now.
There you go.
Hell yeah. Can you scroll down for me, please? an 81 on both Xbox and PC. But I don't know any of these sites. I know Press Start. Let's see what Press Start has to say. Press Start Australia gave it a 90. Senua's Saga's Hellblade 2 is yet another arresting, artful chapter in an adventure now 2 games long. Though it might approach iteration with a very safe hand, only going so far as the correct original shortcomings. Ninja Theory's clear strengths is in storycraft, audio-visual design, as well as their care for dark subject matter, managed to shine through brighter than ever before. I didn't hear a lot about a game there. I heard a lot about a story there.
Right.
IGN. Let's quote IGN real quick. Let's see what they got. IGN is giving it... God fucking damn it, ads, dude. You're fucking terrible, IGN. Your sites are garbage. We'll talk about that in a very few seconds, dude. It's insane. Hellblade, they gave it an 8. Senua Saga's Hellblade 2 is another Viking-worthy feast for the senses that meets the high bar set by its predecessor, even if it never really manages to clear it. Delivers a spellbinding adventure packed with cinematic spectacle and story surprises that maintains a surging sense of forward momentum and never wastes a second in a slender runtime. Its combat manages to feel consistently intimidating and immediate despite its mechanical simplicity. And its perspective-based puzzles regularly scratch cerebral itches, even though they largely rehash or rework the concepts of Senua's previous story. I usually don't agree with IGN on their reviews, so I'd say I lean closer to like what a GameSpot would give it. So let's see what they gave it. I'm interested to see. This is from Jessica Cogswell. Gave it a 6. Let's go through their bullet points real quick. Impressive visuals, motion capture, performance making for a striking cinematic experience, and music and overall sound design triumph at elevating tension and emotion. The bad, shallow, muddled storytelling falls apart in an offering of a unique, introspective experience. Extremely minimal gameplay with simple puzzles and flat combat. Set pieces, encounter, story beats, and gameplay quickly grow repetitive. Those are just the bullet points. Go read these reviews, I would say, because, I mean, Jessica here has, like, easily 4,000 words, written down about this. Same thing with IGN. If you want to support IGN after what they did today, because IGN Entertainment acquires Eurogamer, GI, VG 24/7, Rock Paper Shotgun, and more. IGN Entertainment has acquired the Gamer Network family of digital brands for the undisclosed sum. As a result of the acquisition, some redundancies have been made across the UK-based organizations. Gamers Network publications are GameIndustry.biz, Eurogamer, Rock Paper Shotgun, VG 24/7, Dicebreaker, and the business also holds shares in Outside Xbox, Digital Foundry, Hookshot, Nintendo Life, Push Square, Pure Xbox, and Time Extension. IGN Entertainment is the division of Ziff Davis that includes IGN, Map Genie, How Long to Beat, and Humble Bundle. It has acquired the websites from PAX, New York Comic Con organizer ReedPop, which initially bought the Gamer Network business back in 2018. Not included in the sale are UK-based events EGXM, MCM, or the digital brand Popverse, which remain with ReedPop or PAX. ReedPop also does PAX. It says that. We did read that. But yeah. IGN is buying pretty much all their competition. And I mean, as of right now, my Twitter this morning has been filled with people saying, I'm no longer working for this company. We have a lot of layoffs in this industry. We have a lot of people who get laid off both from the journalism side and the the game development side. I think you might start seeing a lot more people leave out of principle because of something like this.
That's good.
Yeah. Whether that becomes independent media, I support independent media. There's been a lot of people who have left IGN and these sites and have created great things. MinMax and Giant Bomb, even though they got rebought back into the same company. Giant Bomb came from GameSpot. Kind of Funny, Last Stand, fucking Video Games Chronicle. Like, these sites all came from other things. Nextlander is another one. Remap, Second Wind, Aftermath. Like, all of these independent studios. Go support independent games media. It's like my big takeaway with that. A lot of the news story is still like in development, so like that was happening this morning, but yeah. You don't read a lot of this, so like a lot of it's like all what I regurgitate.
It's whatever. It's either whatever you tell me or whatever stumbles upon my YouTube feed.
Right.
Which isn't quite as specific. It's more like general game info than specific behind the scenes news, but
yeah, I don't think you'll see a YouTube video from IGN about this.
Right. Well, yeah, I wouldn't imagine. Yeah.
This is definitely something that's as soon as I opened up my Twitter this morning, the article was like 5 minutes old. It was like, hey, this is like happening now.
Wow, they're literally doing it. They were doing it overnight.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd imagine like the studio heads knew, like, somebody's making those deals. How far down the chain does that go? Like, I have no clue. It seems like some people didn't know for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of people are kind of blindsided by this just because, like, a lot of people are very against the consolidation right now of what games is. After we just had Activision Blizzard King and Bethesda. Sony just bought somebody, I thought. Or no, Nintendo just bought something. Nintendo just bought a company, which doesn't usually happen. Nintendo buys studio. Nintendo acquires Hogwarts Legacy port studio from Embracer Group. So that's what they do. They do like a whole bunch of Switch ports and stuff like that. So that makes sense. That's what Nintendo would usually do, is like a company who's been in contract with them forever, is going through financial struggles, and Nintendo's like, fine, we'll finally pull the trigger. That's what happened with Alpha Dream and like what was another more recent one? Like, they don't own HAL Laboratories is like one of their big studios, and they don't own them. Game Freak they don't own, and makes Pokemon.
Right.
Yeah. So like, and Nintendo's usually not the one to buy studios. So Embracer must be they were going to shut them down, I would imagine. On the other hand, Ziff Davis is not going in there trying to save, small little indie publishers. They're just fucking buying out everybody. It was like 5 or 6 days ago, they just got a new CEO. Or they got sold to Fox Entertainment, Ziff Davis did recently. Or they're going to be sold to Fox Entertainment within the next year. and then will be appointed a new head CEO of everything. Along with that, I guess now that they're just going to own all of it. So yeah, I don't know. Just support any of those other,
Yeah, just independent in general.
Independence is definitely the way to go now.
None of these big corporations.
Yeah, it's just like IGN is terrible. I mean, like, they haven't been good in a very long time. They haven't. A lot of the talent has left.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the talent that is still there has been there for 20 plus years, and they kind of just like do nothing with it. It seems like IGN's done nothing creative since like everybody left, and then they keep bringing new people on, and like they're not the same as what they used to be.
All their really creative people have gone on and started doing their own things.
Right.
That are more successful now anyways.
Right, like Kind of Funny or Last Stand or any of those. Like, I mean, it's not even that, like, more creative. It's just, like, passion, Like, there's not even, like... IGN's become so sterilized.
Right, it's just a corporation now. It's not really about what it was.
And I would say the same thing is for GameSpot as well.
Everything's kind of becoming more corporate. I mean, like even McDonald's is gray now, It's like everything's just kind of become more corporate and cubicles instead of like they forget that the word game is in their name or something.
Right. Yeah.
It just become more about the network.
Yeah, the suits instead of the creative aspect of it, which is why, like, I mean, ideally, you wanna think for the best for people. So, like Herman Hulse being in front, being a games guy, will put out more creative things.
Yeah, you hope.
Ideally, that's what Phil Spencer was saying this whole fucking time, and look at what that got him. People want his head on a stake right now because of it, Like, we were gonna get a Tony Hawk 1+2 remake and stuff like that, or not 1+2, a 3+4 remake. Yeah. Activision canceled it. Xbox was like, "Hey, we're gonna save all these games and shit," and then they're folding studios and cutting people left and right. Hiroki Totoki has said recently, like, hey, we're down from last year, right? Because we made so much money in COVID. But if you look at the graph, we're on the incline of, like, where we should have been. Like, there's this weird fucking jump that's, like, a giant significant boost of their metrics, and then it shoots back down because of the pandemic ending and stuff, or ending in quotes, I guess. But it's they're trending upwards still.
Yeah.
Like, they went back down and then are going back up. Xbox has been like pretty much stagnant for a very long time, it seems like, where we talked about last week, where the previous quarter they sold 800,000 units, which is unheard of for a video games publisher. Like, that's less than Sega was selling at the end of the Dreamcast being killed.
Right.
Like, Dreamcast sold like well over 1 million units in its last quarter.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. But also they've been telling people, we're not in the business of making consoles anymore. We're in the business of Game Pass. But also Game Pass is faltering now.
Yeah.
Where, like, they can't get any good deals on Game Pass going. And if they do, it's very small games. I mean, so be it, whatever, but the idea of this is going to be the next haven for games.
Right.
It's not realistic. They're not making it. There's no upward growth, there's no more there's not more money coming in. It's just the same money coming in.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you're just keeping people's jobs going, but you're not able to grow the business.
Expanding or anything.
You're not able to invest in new games because you're just trying to keep the games that you got going.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like where Xbox is right now. So what do they do is cut for studios. Xbox doesn't need to. Microsoft doesn't need to. Microsoft can take the hit. Microsoft, on the other hand, is very profitable.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. I don't know. That was a lot of ranting. I don't have to rant about this one. I don't feel any certain type of way about it. I think it's pretty cool of what I'm about to read, but you might have some thoughts. Not any bad thoughts, but you might have something to say. Ubisoft has revealed a first proper look at Assassin's Creed Shadows. The detailed game's dual protagonists, both characters appear front and center in the game's new cinematic trailer. On the game's cover, which with each offering a markedly different playstyle. Today's trailer opens on Naoi, or Now? I can't. It's a Japanese name. A female shinobi that crosses paths with Yusuke, the historical figure depicted as the powerful samurai. Initially, it seems the two are adversaries, but the pair soon find a common ground. So I'll do B-roll of this real quick, just so we have it. I don't have it plugged in, but so you see what I'm talking about. There's a new Assassin's Creed, which is the feudal Japan one, which they revealed a while ago. It was called I think it was Assassin's Creed Red. Is what it was called beforehand.
Yeah, the Asian one.
Yeah, because they're doing a Chinese one as well. This is not that one.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm kind of like whatever on the series in general now.
Yeah.
I don't have any type of racial bias like it seems like the world does.
I think it's about time they made a more ninja inspired Assassin's Creed. I mean, I hear the word assassin, I think of some a ninja, basically,
Right.
And sneaking around. Something like that. So I feel like this should have been way sooner,
right? To
be honest. So the fact that
people have been asking for this forever.
Absolutely. And I guess since they did try to go back to their original roots in the game before this, right? They made the smaller map.
Yeah, they did.
So this kind of leans into that I imagine one character's more sneaky and the other character's more melee oriented or something along those lines.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. She seems like she's going to be your more sneaky,
agile. Yeah.
Yeah, she's got shurikens and stuff. And then you got Yusuke, who is a straight up samurai. Yasuke is a real historical character. He is Japan's only black samurai. And people are fucking losing it. People are losing their goddamn mind that the main character is a black guy.
Oh, right. Yes, I did see the trailer for this then. Yeah, I did hear about that. Because after all this time...
in Japan, the one guy you choose is the black guy.
Right.
Which this story is real. It's 100% cool. It's an amazing story. People are... It's really hard to do research on it right now because people are editing the Wikipedia pages and shit right now because everybody's losing their goddamn mind.
Right.
Of he wasn't a real samurai. He was kind of a retainer for a samurai, or he was a real samurai. He wasn't a slave. He was a slave. There's a whole other people. We don't know what happened in fucking 1398 or whatever,
Right.
Such a strange idea.
Also, I haven't seen any sort of tie-in to the Assassins yet.
Right. So this
Nothing
takes
obvious,
place either at the same time or the year after Mirage, which that was the most recent game.
Right.
So you'll probably see more of the worlds colliding later in the game.
Okay.
That seems to be like how they've been tying all this stuff together.
But is there still like the...
Oh, yeah.
You're not actually that person type thing, right?
100%.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the
Animus... They
Animus...
never show that in the trailers. It's just like...
Yeah. No, the Animus is still very much the thing. It's even more deeper into their ancient aliens bullshit.
Yeah.
Than,
Did they kind of like start that storyline over with the new game?
No.
Or they like continued it from where it's always been?
Right.
That's
it's quadrupled, double down,
They're like American Horror Story, and it's just fucking getting stranger and stranger.
Well, like, American Horror Story is still, like, they don't intertwine with each other.
Yeah, I guess technically, yeah, they're not connected. That's kind of like a reach, but...
Yeah.
No, yeah, I get it, though, yeah.
There's still, like, this weird, like... They're, like, not connected, but there's still, like, this weird, like... Jupiter is still there, and, like, Desmond is still mentioned and stuff, like... I didn't play Mirage or, like, any of the Valhalla DLC or anything.
Right.
But, like, Valhalla, the last one came out in 2020, had, like, 4 or 5 major DLCs, and they're all, like, the Lost City of Atlantis and all of that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's, like, the main character of Odyssey has become some ancient god who's guarding, like, the apple of Eden or whatever. Like, It's gotten real weird, man. And just, like, the ending...
Well, they're running out of historical artifacts, too.
Well, a lot of it now is, like, it's just the same pieces of Eden. Or the same... Yeah, that's what they're called, right? Pieces of Eden. You got the apple of Eden, and then the staff, and then a lot of it's now just the same. And it's just like, oh, this person had the apple, and then this person had the apple. I don't remember which one, but they show, like, all of these historical pictures, and they, like, superimpose the apple of Eden inside of it. There's, like, George Washington's holding it while he's, like, on the boat into the Revolution.
Right.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's so dumb. But that's where the story's at now. Of like, now every historical figure of monument has had this.
Right.
It is weird that George Washington there's like pictures of him with the Apple of Eden, and I never played the DLC to the third one.
Yeah.
But the third one has a DLC where George Washington becomes a dictator, and you go and kill George Washington.
Wow, that's crazy.
So, I don't know what happens there, but there is like a tie-in to that whole thing as well.
It's like a weird like Indiana Jones type. Like they try to like twist the real history to like create this fictitious universe or whatever.
Right. Which is crazy that this is the first time that we are playing a historical figure in these games.
Yeah,
like,
usually we're just like playing around an historical event or something.
And then Leonardo da Vinci, or like fucking the Blackbeard and fucking Sid the Kid or what's her name? I forgot the pirate's name or whatever, but like same thing with this is her dad is Fugabayashi or something. Like the major Japanese warlord.
Yeah.
And then he's like an actual person. It's very rare, or hasn't been that we've been like this intertwined.
Yeah, like the person. I wonder how that works with there's gonna be 2 characters in the machine or some sort of like this guy can control both people because there's
Yeah.
something, I don't know.
It definitely seems like there will be a back and forth. How far into the story that will be, I don't know. I'd assume it would. They come together very shortly.
Right.
I assume you'll get like an hour or two. It's an Assassin's Creed. It's probably like 10 hours.
Right, yeah, because the first 4 hours are going to be story.
Yeah, it's going to be like 10 hours of you guys being like one-on-one, and then you guys finally find a common ground, and then you'll get like 90 hours of back and forth, flipping between the two characters. But I don't know how would it be like, because if you have like this one chick who's like climbing fucking rooftops and shit, and then you have this heavy ass dude with like all of this gear just like walking through the middle of this street.
Yeah.
It's like, would it be more like Grand Theft Auto?
Right, yeah. Are you going to be able to switch, or is it going to be like sometimes you're this guy, sometimes you're that guy?
Yeah, would it be like mission based?
Or maybe you can only be one person the whole time, and then you have to kind of new game plus it with the other one or something.
Well, that maybe.
Or like Resident Evil, where like you're kind of one person for a little bit. And
Yeah.
Then...
Well, the last few have had, well, at least Valhalla and Odyssey have a boy-girl version.
Yeah.
And it's either one or the other. But this one, they're not the same person.
Right, and they're working together. I mean, even in the picture here, they're working together.
Yeah, so I think this leaked, and this is why it kind of like all poured out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. This image leaked, and it turns out this is the box art.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. That's why it's like this. That's also a statue.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty sick.
that's I think it's like $250 for that collector's edition or whatever.
Wow.
It's just ridiculous. You can also buy a $110 version and get like digital accessories for your Assassin's Creed character. This is the first one that's supposed to take place in the Assassin's Creed Infinity thing. Do you remember anything about that?
Not really.
It was supposed to be like this Assassin's Creed launcher that's supposed to be like the hub to all these things. Where like it's supposed to be this one, Shadows, and then they announced like Hex.
Oh, like the Hitman thing, kind of?
Kind of, yeah. And I don't know if it's supposed to be like this is Abstergo and the Animus project thing, or if it's just going to be like, we're going to give you one thing so you don't have to download 400 gigs worth of game.
Right.
But yeah, it's supposed to be like you have this one, Hex, the Chinese one, and then I think there was one more, but they're all supposed to be part of this like, I don't know, ever-growing Assassin's Creed universe thing.
Huh. I mean, it would be cool if there was some sort of like walkabout that you could do in some sort of like lab or something, and then you jump into and it's just the list of games.
Yeah.
Or it wouldn't be games. It would be times or universes, or whatever they'd call it. But
yeah,
that would be cool. That would be neat, I think.
Definitely.
If they're going for something like that, even if it's just like a menu like Hitman is, where you just click it and you go through the different stages or whatever.
Yeah, I wonder how they would delineate that, because like with Hitman, it's just like now that's just all one game, where like it's just Paris, Russia, and stuff like that. With the times, it's like. Well, I guess it depends on what the other games are like. With this one, it's like, okay, well, you jump in a time, now which character do you want to play on? And
yeah, right. I guess it depends on the lore, too, because each person connects to a different past character, too. So it's not like,
But it seems like now it's not about... I mean, the people are important, but it's even more about, these pieces of Eden. I don't know...
Yeah, it's less about the bloodlines now.
I don't know. I don't see a piece of Eden on him. Maybe that gold bracelet is a piece of Eden.
The hat.
Yeah, maybe his horns, or his whole. But I'd imagine there's a reason why the Brotherhood is here.
Right. Yeah. Like, how did it get to, what part, what's going on over in Japan?
Yeah. And what's the link?
Right. What's the,
I
yeah.
really, I really think it's the apple. I mean, that's what killed Desmond. That's what, like, you see that in the most imagery of the game. I really think it must be the apple, which would be cool if, like, I don't know, like, you go and, like, I don't even know how you'd make it a thing. Like, if you would touch the apple and then you, like, get, like, some vision of all of these different memories or whatever that you could go into. But, like, the Animus is, like, this weird computer algorithm as well. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any urge to play Mirage. So
Yeah. After, I can't remember what game it was exactly, but I kind of lost it after one game, and I was like, okay, I think I've had my fill. I get it. You sneak around, kill people, rinse, repeat for the most part. So.
Yeah. What time period was it?
No, it was whatever game they like ended the world. Like the world exploded
Oh, I don't even know. Which
at
one
the
that
end of it.
is.
And I was like, okay, that's the end. And then they made another one, and I was like, no, they blew up the world in the last game. I'm not gonna.
But you don't know what time period it was? I mean, they're all.
No.
It wasn't like.
It was a while ago, though. Several games. It was probably only the third game, to be honest.
Oh.
It was
Well,
probably
the third
very
one
early
was
on.
like the Revolutionary War
I don't remember.
time period.
I just remember the world ended.
Well, there's.
We blew it up.
You got the what the Iraq Iran area with like the Templars and stuff in Altair, and then you got the Renaissance, the Revolutionary War, pirates, and then fuck, dude. I mean, there's like a bunch of little ones as well, but then you got like fucking Unity, which is in France. It's like that was the one that was like super buggy and like faces were like melting off characters and like eyeballs were floating and stuff like that. You had Syndicate, which is London. That was like the brother sister duo. And then Rogue, which takes place at the same time as 3, but you play as a assassin bounty hunter. You're going to kill the assassins. But then yeah, you then the other ones were like the open world ones were the ancient Egypt, Rome, and Vikings, or the 3 of this modern thing. I don't know. But yeah, I was trying to see where you're at with
Probably
like
the
what
second or the third one, to be honest. I don't.
Yeah, the Revolutionary War.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's before Pirates. I think I remember playing Pirates because I was like, oh, cool, Pirates. But then I was like, oh, no, I don't like boat games.
Yeah, which is, I mean, Skull and Bones came out not too long ago and
Right.
fizzled out real fast.
Yeah, I mean, the ocean isn't as fun. I mean, being a pirate is a lot of just being bored for a long time and then...
Right.
Or in danger.
Yeah.
It's not actually, like,
it's not
fun in games.
No.
Like, the reason why they partied so hard is because they were so busy trying to survive all the other times.
Right.
Like, 90% of their time was survival, so when they got to party, they went full ham because they would rather die that way than by drowning.
Well, rum's easier to drink because you don't have to clean it.
Also that. Well, yeah, I mean, outside of that, I just meant in general, like, they went all the way, full committal to everything. Cause they chose such a treacherous lifestyle. So yeah, when you make a video game about it, it's very hard to, like, enhance those rare, fun features you get.
Right. Yeah, it's very hard to make the actual pirate life fun.
Right.
Unless maybe you'll see another, like, giant RPG. Yeah, I don't know who would make that. That'd be cool, though. An actual pirate RPG thing that's not...
If they did something like that space game that's still going on, but with pirates.
Space game.
That I don't know. It's like super detailed. I can't like really involved when you play it. It's just everyone has their own custom ship. It's probably like a pay to play type thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, there was like 1,000 space games that popped in my head. Like No Man's Sky, Starfield.
No. way more. Not like a game, like online, like like people are living in that game.
Oh,
Like,
well, there's Eve.
Eve, exactly. Like if they made a pirate Eve.
Yeah, that would be sick.
That would be probably the way to do it, because then you can actually like do a bunch of shit. But the problem with pirate games is like sailing isn't fun. Shooting cannons is only so fun before it's like you're just shooting cannons.
Right.
You can't actually plunder. I mean, I guess you can a little bit.
I mean, I guess the developer would be FromSoft. I would want a Souls pirate game. That
would probably be, yeah.
That was my pitch for a while ago, was a Pirates of the Caribbean, but Souls.
That'd be cool. I don't know how you'd do the sailing part, but
I don't think you would have to.
Everything else would be. That's true. Yeah, if the world's decrepit enough, I guess you never really have to get into a boat.
You could go port to port and then just do bonfires and stuff.
Yeah.
Be like, oh well, now I'm in Tortuga. Now I'm in fucking, what was the other place? They're in like the UK where all of the fucking the Royal Navy's at, and then like they go to Singapore, and then they go, well, I guess Tortuga is in Singapore, but they go to China, they go to pirates in general. I mean, not just Pirates of the Caribbean, but that whole the Mediterranean like area would be really cool.
Yeah, they do a lot of places, and they're all like very custom and different.
Yeah.
So they could create a lot of their own treachery.
And there's not like a lot of tropical Souls likes.
Right. Yeah.
It's all like gothic.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've gotten sci-fi. It's like gothic and sci-fi are like.
It's probably the easier. Okay, well, because it's creepier. I guess tropical is always with fun. Even like Dead Island, which is on a beach, is like.
That's what I was thinking.
Not as scary, I think, because it's always sunny, you know, and the zombies are in fucking beach shorts. So you're like, oh, you're scary, but you're also wearing bright pink sunglasses, you know.
Right. I mean, that's.
So there's definitely some sort of.
That's why I think with pirates you could do like leather and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they could definitely be like. Gothic-esque.
I'd be fine with palm tree shorts too, but I was like a giant banana spider boss or something like that. Like
there's definitely like tons of different beachy possibility. Even if they got stuck on that island with all those little crabs and stuff. Pirates of the Caribbean would be a cool universe to transform.
Yeah.
It's definitely not beyond the realms of possibility, especially with where we're headed with the Dark Souls universes and stuff.
Right.
It seems like we could kind of cling on to any.
Yeah, and Rise of the Ronin kind of had like the pirate fantasy that I'm thinking of with that, where like I mean I haven't gotten to play Rise of the Ronin yet, but it's Team Ninja, so I'd assume already with, you know, Neo and Wolong, like those games are Souls likes. Rise of the Ronin is also that, but you have a fast 6-shooter, and you have a sword, and you can fucking use both of them, and I mean that's what I want.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Cowboy Souls.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess cowboys don't really have a lot of melee things, but I mean.
Yeah, that would be mostly that'd be like another Bloodborne-esque.
Yeah. Yeah, you could probably fiddle with it where like you can make cowboy-esque melee weapons.
For sure.
Because Bloodborne doesn't really fit the theme of anything. It's just there's the hunters, even the weapons that the hunters use aren't based off real weapons. They're just fucking the cane that extends out into a whip, or the fucking Tonitrus, the giant mace that turns electric.
Right. Yeah, they're definitely their own creative. I mean, that's part of it, though. You have to create your own things in the universe. I feel like a Western one would probably lean more towards like a Mad Max style.
Yeah.
Than like just Western specifically or cowboy specifically, but
yeah,
that would still be pretty cool.
I mean, yeah. Bloodborne does have a lot of Western energy too. There's a lot of people in cowboy hats and stuff.
That's true. Yeah.
I could see that. It could be get like Father Gascoigne and put him up in like I don't know, put him on a horse or something.
Make it work.
German and instead of a wheelchair, put him on like one of those mini donkeys.
Yeah, that'd be funny. And then just lean more into like the alien stuff because that was like a Western type.
Yeah. Yes, that would be sick. I mean, that's the same thing with the pirates stuff.
Mm-hmm.
With the tropical and pirates things, like the Aztecs and ancient aliens and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That stuff would be real.
We do
cool.
a whole like teleport to the middle of Atlantis.
Yeah, I mean that's
thing.
Indiana Jones shit right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'd be super into that. Have you been playing anything recently? I'm talking about a lot of theoretical
I played
games.
a little bit more of like a dragon.
Yeah.
I'm kind of finally breaking even where I'm like considering like, oh, I'm gonna have to go grind a dungeon or something, which is kind of cool. Like, which isn't bad because you have to go do these dungeons anyways to acquire more Pokemon characters or whatever they're called. So like.
Yeah, I forgot what they're called.
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head, but so like I have to go do that anyways. But I'm finally getting to that point where it's like I can't just put it on auto battle all the time. I kind of have to actually strategize again and stuff. And now I'm getting like all these different characters because you end up like now I have like 7 or 8 party members. So now I'm trying to figure, you gotta have to juggle what works the best and all that. But overall, still fun. Still a game I can kind of just play while I'm doing other things, which is nice. Story's still fun.
Yeah, I wonder how much longer you got.
I think I'm on chapter 13 now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell you from chapter count. But who knows?
I'm not entirely sure. But like, it's one of those games where like it feels like it could be over any minute, and then they put another like twist where you're like, oh, this is gonna be a while, But
and then who knows what kind of side quest you get thrown into, and that's a whole fucking
right. And I just left a new area that's not even on the main map.
Oh, really?
So now there's this whole other area with like games and stuff that I could go to. I went ahead and ate all the food at all the places. I just do that. I just buy all the food on the menu every time I go to a restaurant, so I don't have to go back.
Makes sense.
Or if I stumble into that restaurant again on accident, I already know which combos give me the boosts.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But also it's an achievement, so
oh, really?
I just do that. At least in game, they want you to eat at like all the restaurants. You get some sort of the hero trophy or something.
Huh. That's cool.
But so there's this whole other area that's not even on the main map. So now I got to go back to that and play like all the mini games and stuff and see if there's any sort of side story progression over there that I'm missing or something.
Yeah. I wonder what the hero trophy does. I would imagine it boosts like your strength and stuff. A lot of the crazy rewards in Yakuza are like major stat boosts.
Yeah, I think. Well, that's why I was so OP for so long because I did so many side quests and just got myself all these like specific to job things. And, the best weapons at the time and stuff. That it definitely like. It's not monotonous like some side quests are.
Right.
It's like you actually like everything is so beneficial.
Yeah.
It's like why not just do them all and then.
Right, because everything makes you money or gives you a character or summon or 100%.
It's crazy how like extra. It is, but also like how entertaining everything is. It's not just like the same mission with like a different character 40 times or something. Each side mission is just a completely unique side story. It
Right.
like really does a good job at filling out the world with characters and actual, like, it feels like you're actually in a universe and not just like
Right.
where you're a GTA, you're surrounded by like a million people and every other person has the same, dialogue or whatever,
Right. Yeah. What are you walking?
Yeah, exactly.
First
right. Even like sitting there and listening, like, it becomes repetitive. I mean, the new Spider-Man did a pretty good job at creating a lot of creative lingo, but I'm sure that is also so unique. I mean, whereas like this, it also helps that it is like a smaller region.
Right.
So you're not going to run into as many people anyways, but...
Yeah. Is it Yokohama? Is that the first one? Maybe that's the first one.
I can't remember exactly. They talk about so many different places.
Yeah. Kamurocho is the first one. That the Kamurocho is the city where the first 7 games take place, and then the 7 and 8 take place in somewhere else entirely. That must be Kamurocho. That's the second one, and the 7th one, or the 7th one, and the 8th one, and then of course the 8th one you do go to Hawaii later, but yeah, I mean those cities are fake cities, so it's cool that they actually went to a real city in the newest Yakuza. But I wonder if like you do end up going to Tokyo or whatever. I never beat 7, so
yeah, I'm not sure if I'm not sure if I will. I haven't yet, but
I wonder if they. I don't know Japanese law, if they're even legally allowed to start name dropping cities or whatever.
Oh yeah, interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, because I know if it's like the U.S., they'll like sue your ass. You'll get like the city of Los Angeles suing you because you used Los Angeles in your video game or something. It's stupid.
I'm just excited to see like how it gets to where he ends up in the next game or whatever, like because it really is just a really good fun story,
Yeah, and then like while all this happening, like Kiryu is still out doing whatever. So
I gotta play
game.
that whole other game too. Yeah.
Because I do know Kiryu will pop up in 7. I know it's very brief. I don't know where it is. But there is some point where they do cross a path very briefly. But that's what I'm interested in. It's like, what is he doing? I saw like the first 4 or 5 hours of that game when Bossman played it.
Yeah.
But that ending apparently goes real hard, and ties into 8 pretty well.
Heck yeah. That's exciting.
Yeah.
But other than that, I haven't really... I know I downloaded a couple more games. Oh, no, I downloaded that Kitty in the City game.
Oh, yeah, me too.
That other game. I haven't played them yet, because I think I want to just specifically stream those.
Yeah. 100%.
So, they're still kind of just sitting there. I'll probably do that the next couple of days. I have a couple of things I need to get done by the end of I have like a couple actual deadline things I need to get done, but I'm sure I can squeeze in a stream or something, and
that'd be cool.
That'd be cool, because those look like fun little games. So besides that, I've been doing a lot more comedy stuff too, because next month's going to be really busy.
Yeah, now that the summer's going, bars are opening back up.
Yeah. Which, give or take, I mean, I guess it's all a gamble no matter what, but...
and that's why we got the podcast.
But so I'll be doing a lot more of that too, but still find time to play games or whatever. I've been, Kenny and I were playing some moving game. It's like a multiplayer...
Oh, Moving Out?
Moving Out, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Moving Out. No, because, we don't really do a lot of moving. It's more like painting and floor installing. I don't know if it is Moving Out, to be honest.
I know there's They came out with a second one recently.
Because we haven't moved any furniture while playing, and we're like on level 10.
Yeah, I don't remember what it is.
But it's a multiplayer game.
Yeah.
Where you paint the walls. Sometimes you have to plaster the walls first. And you have to lay down carpet, but sometimes you have to scrape up old carpet and lay down. But it's similar to like those games, like the cooking game or whatever, where it's, you know, you're ragdolling around, throwing stuff, whatever. Overcooked. Yeah, but it's just very... It's kind of boring, to be honest. Like, we're on level, like, 10 now, so, like, you're, like... It's weird because it makes you look like you're in a house when you're in each level, but like the menu screen is like you're in a hotel, so you're like going up floors or whatever, and then each floor is like a different. There's like 2 levels per floor or whatever, so you go up an elevator. But then like on each floor, it makes it look like there's going to be a theme, but then it kind of falls short on that. Like we're on level 10 now or something, and there's like an ice theme, so like one of the floors are kind of slippery, but it's like, why is this in a house? I don't know. But it is a game. So whatever, but they're just like with the cooking game, each level felt like a unique puzzle. That when they introduced a new food or a new concept, it felt like a new challenge. Whereas this, it's just the same. Like the house kind of changes shape each time, and maybe acquiring some of your materials is a little different. Like they put some of your materials in a river, so you have to wait till the materials pass before you can pick them up.
Yeah.
But it all feels the same. Like every level's kind of felt the same. Like you get your materials, you clean up the floor, you lay your stuff down, you clean it up after. There's not really like a challenge. We don't feel, even with the timer, we don't feel necessarily rushed. I don't know. It's just not, like we're just beating it now at this point to beat it because we've already come this far, and it's not like, it's not hard enough that we're like, oh, let's stop playing this. It's just not fun either at this point. Like we've just gotten too far where they haven't like, I don't know.
They're not doing anything.
Like we're just, and it's the same colors too. That's the other thing. It's like every level, it's like install an orange floor, install a green floor, paint a orange wall, paint a green wall, pink every once in a while, but it's like the same colors, it's the same, and maybe that's to make it easier to remember what's what. Like green is for wooden panels and orange is for carpet, but like you could just pick a shape or something, or like a symbol that represents or something. I don't know. It seems, and teamwork doesn't even seem very important. Like in the cooking game or in the other, like that mechanic game, there's a couple games where you're actually yelling at each other. Like, oh, I need you to do this, I need you to do that. Where it's kind of like this one, we're just kind of like, all right, well, I'm going to just, I'm going to go do the carpet over here if you want to just paint there. And then we kind of just do that. We're like playing a game together, but separately. You know, like I could probably play like the same game without her and it'd be the same.
But it's like top down, like Overcooked.
Top down, Overcooked, yeah. And then there's this other weird concept. We got to one where it was like raining, and so the rain will affect the tiles in the game. But it's like, how is it raining if we're inside a building? So they introduced, so like the challenges they introduced don't even completely make sense either. So it's like, I don't know exactly. Like at least, and that's why I'm pretty sure it's not moving out, because moving out involves a lot more like actually like, oh, I gotta move this furniture, and it needs to be like... It's like an actual puzzle type thing. You don't have to move anything in this game. You can just do the work underneath the furniture if you want, technically.
I can't find the game.
I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head.
Like, cleaning multiplayer game, and it's like Power Wash Simulator.
No, it's like...
Not that. It's not House Flipper. Is it on Game Pass?
We were playing it on the PlayStation. Oh no, I lied. We were playing it on the Switch.
The Switch. Yeah, it's not moving out too for sure. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. I wish I did.
I'm Googling it. I might find it.
Is it Tools Up?
Do you have a picture?
It look like that?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay, so
Tools up. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I never heard this. 7 out of 10 on Steam. Came out in 2019.
I think it was free or like very cheap on Steam on
20
on Switch.
Yeah,
I don't even think it was that when we bought it.
she might have had like coins or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can pay 100 coins for it.
But we were like,
$4.99 for the Ultimate Edition.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what we did. Because we were like, it's probably like that cooking game or the mechanic game where it's like a top-down, ragdolly.
Yeah,
and I mean, it is in theory, but it's just like very boring. And then like there's this blueprint thing where like there's a blueprint on the ground that tells you what you're doing in the project, but it's like another object that you have to find, and then you can only look at the project if you're opening it, which I guess is real life. I mean, you can't but eventually you would remember it, but you can't. There's not like a menu. I wish there was like a menu option where you could just like press R1 or something and it pops up the schematic or whatever, but it's like a thing. So then if you lose it or you don't know where it is, that's like another part of like, maybe that's a challenge, but it's more or less annoying than anything. Because sometimes it's like in the house, so now you have to go find it first before you can even. And it's like, when would I go into a project and not already have it on me?
Right.
You know, why would it be I don't know. So some of it's like.
Yeah, it seems like Sims without the sim.
They like, it's just
it's
weird.
just the house building of the Sims.
Well, you don't even build. That's the thing. It's like so far, it's just been not tearing down walls, but just scraping walls and wallpapering them or painting them, and or taking away the floor and reapplying more floor. It's not, there's no like actual wall construction or shaping, and you don't even have to move furniture. Like I did a level yesterday that had a couple chairs in it, and you could just click on the tile that the chair's on and it'll just do that anyways. So I mean, I guess sure that's easier, but at the same time it's like, well, you could have made that a challenge instead. Like, I have to move this chair, and then I would have to call, my teammate over to grab the other end, and it would be a whole thing. But it's like, so I feel like it was like they had a good idea. They had a lot of good ideas involved with it, but they kind of missed the mark when it came to like keeping it fun. And like I said, we're gonna keep playing it. Maybe it'll get better. We are only on 10. I don't know how many levels there are. Maybe there's all of a sudden a steep incline and they introduce something crazy that's like, oh, this is a game. But for now it's like,
I wonder how much, because it said the definitive edition, so there was expansions of some sort.
There must be something. And I can't even believe it got as high a rating as you said, 7 out of 10, which I mean I guess is a C, but I would have given it like a 5 probably. And now to 7.
7 out of 10 on Steam. Well, that's all like that's all averages, so that's just like that's not somebody's score. That's just an average of everybody.
And it's one of those games too where it's like not a kid wouldn't play that. I don't think they wouldn't understand necessarily the concept, but also like it doesn't feel entertaining. So what audience is it for? Like if it's for an adult audience, it doesn't even have anything.
You're not scratching a creative itch
for anyone really. There's not a lot for anyone to really get from that.
Weird.
So. Kenny was like, make sure you complain about this game on the podcast today.
Definitely.
That's what she told me last night because we were playing it, and she's like, you better complain about this game tomorrow because
hell yeah,
I'm so mad.
Damn.
Because we did buy it. I mean, even if it was cheap, it was like, well,
Right,
you're playing.
And you're putting your time into it.
Right.
You could have been playing Moving Out.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. That's probably what we thought it was, and then we bought this one instead. To be honest, I don't even know.
Moving Out 2 is out now.
I'm trying to get her into Borderlands. It's hard on split screen, so I'm gonna see if.
Man, that's not.
If we can, because I know we can cross-platform, so I'm gonna see if. I don't know. We're gonna figure that out. I love Borderlands, so if I can get her into Borderlands, like, cause she plays Apex and other shooting games.
Oh, really?
So it's like if I can just get her into that realm of looter shooters, kind of like, cause that's like a different type of shooter. You kind of have to want to shoot a bunch of stuff for the sake of it to like upgrade, you know, like you have to kind of get into that aspect.
Right.
And it's not just like shooting for a good story or whatever. I mean, you know, I like the story too, but
I mean, there's plenty of I got some deep ass nerdy shit to throw your way if you want to get into something deep with her, like Divinity.
we have like a list of we're like slowly building. Yeah, if you want to send that to me, but we have like a list of multiplayer games that we've created.
Yeah.
And we're gonna like get one every once in a while.
I mean, Baldur's Gate 3, man.
Beat one. That's the definite. That's the main goal. But
Yeah.
I don't even think we have. Oh, I guess you could play it on the.
You can play on PlayStation.
Yeah.
And it's split screen.
Again, I don't really like playing games on split screen if we have
Right. So what?
2 TVs. Maybe I can
Well, you can do it that way too.
dual monitor split screen. Is that possible? Like split screen, but each split is on a different screen.
Not on the PlayStation. I wouldn't think. But I mean, it is. I think it's cross-platform.
We would just each have to own a copy.
Right. And
that's like the biggest thing. It's like we definitely want to play that for sure.
That's
also
that's $140. So.
Right. So yeah. So.
But I would just say, play it on one because it's split screen. If you guys are apart from each other, but if you guys are next to each other, then it doesn't split.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I guess that's true because we're all technically like in the same arena making decisions and stuff.
Yeah, but if it's, I mean,
is it split screen like both characters' choices matter, or it's still following the main guy and then you just have another character kind of in your party?
Both very much matter.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, everything matters in that game.
Neat. So yeah, maybe we will try. I mean, it's definitely already on the list. It's a must-have for us. Like we want to play it. It's just
and then you can make it so you're only one person's controlling NPCs, or both people each have a select NPC because it's a 4-person party.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you do like 2 and 2, kind of like the Shrek games.
Right. Yeah, but Divinity is their game before Baldur's Gate.
Man, I wish they made a new Shrek game, but from the makers of Baldur's Gate. That would be amazing.
That would be insane. I mean, you can play Baldur's Gate as an ogre.
That's true, but it's not Shrek the ogre.
I mean, Divinity is...
It's not Mike Myers. If it was voiced by Mike Myers, then maybe. But...
Divinity is probably closer to that.
Yeah.
Divinity 1 and 2, Divinity Original Sin, Divinity 2 are the games that they did before Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
Larian specifically. Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 were like 20-something years ago, and those were made by BioWare.
Oh wow.
The EA team. Yeah, that's those are old, which those are still good too. Baldur's Gate 2 is still very highly praised. But Divinity 1 and 2, like it's so open-ended co-op that you guys could be on the opposite sides of the world doing quests.
Interesting.
Like there's stuff in those games, like if you can't talk to animals, you can't do those quests because every single animal has dialogue in that game.
Wow.
Yeah, stuff
crazy.
like that.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid.
That's nuts. That's definitely the realm that we're going to. Like we kind of switch it back and forth. Like we played that It Takes Two game, which is a little more serious leaning, and then we played the cooking game, which is sillier, and so we're kind of back and forth with it, mostly for our nerves.
Yeah.
Because she's a pretty good gamer. Don't get me wrong. Like she's great at Apex and stuff, but sometimes,
Yeah, for sure.
We've seen the memes.
Yeah.
We know how it is.
Well, I think those games are a lot better because you guys can do
But you
could just go do whatever.
Right, like we're in a team, but we're like independent. I mean, I like the games where you kind of have to depend on one another, but it is nice to kind of have like we're just in the same world,
right?
Like
there's actually it's co-op, but it's more like building each other up rather than like trying to stay afloat. Oh yeah, no problem. We're back. Patrick had a
I had a phone call. My lawyers were calling me.
Oh, really?
They said...
That's an expensive phone call then, man.
Yeah.
You got to pay for everything. Lawyers charge for 15-minute intervals.
Oh,
right?
I know, believe me. But they heard me talking about that game, and they were like, you know what, we can't afford the consequences.
Fuck, dude.
So I take everything back. That game about painting and putting down carpet, best game ever. 10 out of 10. No, it was just I'm going to go play disc golf later, like a real man. So I was talking to my friends about that. Yeah, they don't like it when you call it frisbee golf. They're like, it's disc golf. And I'm like, but it's a frisbee. They're like, no, it's a disc. It's made of,
Okay, Airbuds.
I'm like, all right. I don't know. It's literally the same thing. Disc, frisbee. Call it plate. I'm throwing a plate around.
Start calling golden retriever names.
Oh my God, I don't know. Yeah, I thought that was really funny. I mean, I guess it is faster to say disc golf. Like, for me, that makes it better, but...
Well, it's like boomer shooter.
Don't get upset if you say frisbee golf.
It's just like boomer shooter.
No, it's not just like boomer shooter. Boomer shooter is not a synonym to another type of thing that is the same.
People are calling it that.
That's like... They're taking the A... No, we're not getting back into that, okay? But yeah, so I've been playing that moving game... Not moving game, just re-carpeting game.
Yeah,
the Like a Dragon, and... Yeah, and then every once in a while I still get on Rocket League. I don't know why, because I'm not getting any better at this point. Because there eventually reaches a point where like you have to just commit, or you're going to be stuck in the same thing forever, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with that. It's still fun. It's just sometimes you see, the progression others are making, and you're like, man, if only I spent 8 hours a day practicing my spins.
Right. 100%.
Then I could look cool, but at the same time, it's like, do I want to look cool for that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Not really, so.
Do I want to spend 8 hours doing this?
Right, just to perfect a double stinky stomp or whatever they call it. They have all these names and shit, too. And I'm like, that's... I don't want to reach that level where I'm like memorizing move names like I'm a skateboarder. Like I'd rather memorize skateboard tricks.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
A Rocket League flip, no scope or whatever. Like
that's such a
it's fun,
peeve of mine.
but it's one of those. It's nice that it can still be casual. And it's not like where like Apex, I almost feel like I can't play casually anymore.
Oh, yeah,
like if I turn on Apex, I have to be in sweaty mode.
Yeah, that game is just sweat.
Like even in the casual mode, it doesn't feel like you can be. Where like in the Rocket League community can be toxic, but for most part, especially in the lower levels, it's pretty chill because it is a car game, so there are tons of children just driving around.
Yeah, it's still very chill.
It's not like a shooter game where there is some more limitations, but
it's a car game and it's free to play.
Right, exactly.
It's actually it might even be. Is it part of the Fortnite launcher at this point?
Oh, that was something I wanted to talk about. There was a Fortnite's introducing their own rocket racing thing, but it's like the Rocket League cars, but you can also customize and build tracks, so you can do the 360 180 things
because
like the Rocket League cars, but you can make like upside down tracks and shit. And so they're kind of combining what they did with the Lego thing at one point, but they're using the Rocket League cars from like so they are kind of forming that into their own.
I thought that was out already.
If it is, I don't know. I just saw the trailer for it myself, so maybe they updated it or something.
Yeah, maybe they updated it because that came out and it was like very middling, is what it seemed.
So maybe they like enhanced it or made it better or something. Because I just saw like a new trailer for it like last week or something.
That out. Yes, they're still adding. There's like an NBA thing coming still.
Yeah.
There was something else that they announced recently. There's that Disney thing coming. They're doing like that Disney World thing in it. Speaking of Lego, and we were talking about Herman Holst earlier, a Lego Horizon game is in development.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, what? What?
Lego's making a huge comeback in gaming.
They've done one Lego set of Horizon.
Yeah.
And Horizon has 2 games. It's like, what are you making Lego.
I feel like Lego's always made pretty good games. I've always loved a good Lego game, and they're finally getting into that. They're finally getting into that open world Lego games.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if they can capture the quirkiness of a Lego game in an open world universe. I mean, I feel like they kind of did that with the Fortnite thing.
Yeah. What it sounds like is that this is gonna be like almost like a 1-for-1 remake of the first one.
That's crazy. Just Lego and quirkier, because they usually don't talk, so it's all like.
Usually, the first decade of games, I would say yes. It was one of the Lego Batmans, and then from that point on, they've been talking. Like
actual voice?
Yes.
Or like
just like Mark Hamill is the Joker and stuff. Oh, interesting. Like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not caught up.
Actually, the movies and stuff were kind of like even more of the lift off of that.
Oh, really? Like, I'm just thinking, because even in the Lego Fortnite, I don't think they had any actual dialogue.
That makes sense. It was just. I mean, who are you gonna hire for that? It's not true. Like Mark Hamill's the Joker, so right. Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, who knows? But like, I mean, that's a big contentious point with Horizon is that Aloy doesn't stop talking. She kind of just keeps talking to herself the whole game. So it would be, I don't know, people might be kind of excited about a silent Aloy.
Right. Because they have to lean into that's another reason why I like the Lego game so much, because they lean into that like the visual humor, that kind of like black and white movie era type. I can't think of a person. I can't think of the main guy that does that.
Oh, Charlie Chaplin.
Charlie Chaplin. Yeah, they lean into that Charlie Chaplin vibe where everything is very visual, because
slapstick.
they slapstick, right? Because they didn't have voices at one time or whatever. So that would be interesting if they were able to do that, like in open world Horizon.
Yeah.
Of all places, universe. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I'd be into it. I'd really.
Oh yeah.
That Lego, the Lego tall neck that they did is really pretty.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the weird thing is that Lego is. And Lego's been fighting with this for a while now. Lego is a children's toy brand.
Mm-hmm.
And their Lego sets cost so much fucking money.
Right.
The Lego tall neck for the Horizon was like $150.
Well,
that's the only set they've
like
done.
Leaning into the adults for that one.
Right. But then Lego has a strict rule that any of the IP cannot be mature. So nothing above a PG-13 rating.
Oh, interesting.
Or a teen rating for Horizon. That's why Halo goes to Mega Bloks and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Or Call of Duty is another Mega Bloks property as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they get those versus Lego will get like The Simpsons and Seinfeld and like Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is another example of like the Shire set came out last year. That's like a $700 set of Legos.
Right. Well, I mean, I get it.
What are we doing?
On one hand, it is a child's toy.
Right.
Right. But on the other hand, it is basically like building your own art. It's no different than those like paint by number things that could. And because it's a licensed property, of course there's going to be a higher price tag.
Well, let's take the price of a video game console.
Right. No, yeah, for sure. I get it, but there's different qualities. I mean, I'm not on their side. It shouldn't be that much, but I get why they're pushing it that much.
Right.
It sucks because it is silly. They are just blocks.
Yeah,
but because they're highly refined, well-known, nostalgia-ridden blocks, the adults are like, oh man, it's like when I was 7, but now it's here in front of me or whatever. Yeah.
You look at those sets that are fucking from the 80s and shit, dude. Those sets are expensive.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. The harder to find stuff.
Yeah, like the original Lego pirate ship or whatever is like going for like $20,000 now or whatever.
Right.
It's insane. But it's still like Lego should not be putting out. I mean, if you're going to appeal to adults, then that's one thing, but you don't buy Legos in the adult section. You go to the children's section, and these sets cost more than the console that this game is going to be on. Mm-hmm. And that's an insane...
it is a weird... It's a weird niche vein of art that they're trying to capitalize on or whatever.
Even a painting.
No, yeah.
Like, even a painting. Like,
yeah, nothing that you have the instructions on how to build should be as much as, like, an original art piece or something that, like...
Right. And there are very rare exceptions to a painting that is $500, $600, $700. Like, that's a giant piece of canvas. It's not, like... the Lego Tall Neck's probably, like, this... height of the microphone, but like I don't know, there's a different thing happening there where like this thing is meant for entertainment versus like I guess an art asset or something like that. Like it's a toy.
Yeah, but also in the same time, it's no different than those figurines that they make.
Right. Would you rather...
Where you buy a, $400 figurine of a hot, big anime titty chick.
Right.
Or you can buy one made of Legos that you built yourself. It's, different but the same in a way, I guess.
The anime titty chicks aren't... those aren't being sold in the aisles with the kids, though.
That was a bad example.
Yeah, that would be my...
But I mean, like, even
you're right,
gaming
100%.
Figurines in general,
I mean, the Assassin's Creed figure, $250.
Right. Toys of any kind outside of Legos shouldn't be that much.
Right. But you think, like,
but
Amiibo from Nintendo, right?
Yeah.
Or, like, Funko Pops.
Yeah.
Those are $11 a piece.
Right. Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, Amiibos are $15.99, and they interact with the game.
Yeah. That makes sense. But the people that create collector's items and then jack up the prices. And it hurts the Lego community, too, because people buy these expensive sets. They'll buy all 20 of them from a shelf and then go and sell one piece at a time to everyone else. So now this one piece that was 50 cents is like $20 because the kit's so expensive.
Right. I mean, I do that with Pokemon. I have been noticing that a lot. And a lot of it's not so much the new stuff. It's like people going to like Goodwill and stuff like that and just raiding old Legos because those
you
pieces
can resell the pieces individually, and that's slightly different than Pokemon because at least like with Pokemon you are collecting individual cards to complete your own sets and stuff.
There is a specific chase.
But like with Lego pieces, people are just like getting very nitty gritty with selling like this exact just one piece, and then the rest of their set is just like sitting on a shelf or whatever.
Because that one piece costs the wind blow or something. I heard that too.
It's a big gust in
there. Yeah. No. It's the neighbors. And it's the opposite side of the house. I think. I didn't see anybody walk up. Everything's cool.
Calm your tits.
Yeah, it's very strange where Lego's at. I think they're trying to figure it out as well. I mean, like with the pandemic and stuff, everybody was also buying Legos.
Right.
Everybody had the time in the world. I mean, you look over there where my roommates sit, and it's filled with Lego sets right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, they just got into doing that recently, but it is what adults want to do for sure.
Yeah,
but
it's one of those like
you're gonna lose
mind-numbing tasks.
Yeah, you're gonna lose that real quick because the new Eye of Sauron set's like $700, dude.
Yeah, and you can only fit so many.
Yeah,
how much room do you have?
The Millennium Falcon's going for like $900 now retail. Wow. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And it's like, what are we doing here, man? It's like, what do you think you have here? The Star Wars license is not worth that much, I promise. Nobody cares about Star Wars like that anymore. It's insane. going back to games, I didn't play a lot of games this week, but I did play more Another Crab's Treasure.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'm really into it. I am getting more aggravated with, like, it seems like a little too punishing at times. Like,
oh, really?
not like I understand why I die and stuff and like what's my fault and stuff, but like maybe it's just because of my build and like I can fix it and stuff, but I think I have a pretty balanced build.
Yeah.
But like everything like two shots me. Like it's insanely hard to keep alive in that game to the point where like I don't want to fight anything until I get to a boss. And then once I get to a boss, I'll like cash in all my bread claws for level ups, and then boost my attack, beat the boss, and then go move on. But like the main little fodder enemies are so annoying because they kill you in 2 hits. And it's not like Souls where it feels like I have an edge towards them. Like the dodge roll and stuff is still very different, where it's not as satisfying to fight those smaller enemies.
Right.
Like the parry is not a normal parry, so trying to parry attacks is heinous in my opinion.
Yeah.
The dodge roll is very finicky, to the point where like a lot of the time it doesn't like you to press a direction in the middle of the roll. It wants you to just press B and it'll just dodge a random way, which is very strange. You'll like know where to dodge based on the enemy.
Yeah.
Or what the enemy is doing is what it seems like, and I don't vibe with that too much, especially when I'm like already trying to lock on and throw attacks and stuff. You want me to take my finger off the analog stick to press B and then go back to refocus? That's so strange.
Yeah, my hot take might be controversial. I think this game is a little overrated. I think it had a lot of hype.
Yeah.
Because it was different. You know, an ocean, Dark Souls, and it is exciting or whatever. It's its own unique story
I'd say
and whatnot. But especially because I watch this guy on YouTube. He plays like his whole thing right now is he just plays Dark Souls games.
Oh yeah.
And so he plays like 5 or 6 games an episode or whatever and rates them. So I've seen like at this point probably hundreds of different Dark Souls games. And I've just seen so many others that fell under the radar for this reason or another that are much better than, in my opinion, and I've never played them than this. I think it's just because it was so unique and cute, but it's a Dark Souls at the same time. People were like jumping on it. I mean, I was also excited. I'm still excited about it, but I think that it just isn't as good as people were excited for.
Right. I think a lot.
Even the ratings that it got, I think, are a little.
Yeah.
Probably going to sink down a little bit now that people are playing it, but.
I think the performance, the performance is not there. It stutters constantly. It drops frames all the time. It rubber bands sometimes. I haven't gotten any screen tearing or anything, thankfully. And maybe it's because I'm playing on an Xbox One. It's not a base model, but it's if that is your underlying specs, that's what I expect you to hit, and,
right. Yeah, definitely.
You're not hitting it. I would say this is probably as much as I like. Souls is my favorite. FromSoft is my favorite developer of all time. Their combat very speaks to me. I live and breathe it. It comes naturally. Another Crab's Treasure feels probably the closest than a lot of the other Souls-likes that you would probably see.
Yeah.
In my opinion. At least in speed and stuff, like I do think that matches up. It's not probably not as fast as I want. Like, Liza P is probably the best feeling Souls-like.
Yeah.
Versus a Soulsborne being the real thing. Another Crab's Treasure I'd put slightly below that. And then below that you'd get games like The Surge or Mortal Shell or Code Vein or the most recent one, Morbid, is the Eye of Ire, I think is what it's called, The Rise of Ire. They made another one previously as well. A lot of those Souls-likes, they lack, like, they make the character feel heavy for a lack of, like, a lack of oomph. It's like, we're gonna make you slow, so instead of you feeling a hit, it just feels like you're taking forever to hit.
Right.
It's very strange. And then Remnant, on the other hand, where you're shooting and stuff, that game is really good because you don't do any of that. I mean, you can have a melee character, but then that game falls short with, like, I mean, it's very RNG, it's a roguelike, so, like, it's all randomized and stuff, so, like, enemy placement is garbage in that game and stuff, because it's all randomized.
Right.
I would say the enemy placement of Another Crab's Treasure is probably just as bad as that.
Yeah.
The boss fights are decent. They're pretty basic, but they're fun. The enemy placement is just hot garbage, and maybe that's just because of how much they deal. But it's like all the time where, like, a random crab, like, pops out of the dirt for some weird reason.
Right. I don't feel like there was a lot of, like, not level design, but, like, character placement within the level design. Like, combining the two. Right. Which I feel like is a big Souls aspect. Like, you know, like, you think you're safe and then something from across the map hits you, or, you know, there's archers and these things. I mean, they had some of that, but I feel like
there's a reason why they're there.
Exactly, right. There's a reason for all the characters being where they are.
First,
that's tied into the lore.
Yeah.
Whereas, and I guess it's harder with the ocean, it's so vast.
Right.
Like, anything can kind of be anywhere, but they didn't even...
But you go to a city and
give
stuff
any
like
sort of
that.
Right, that's true, but absolutely, it's all kind of the same.
Like, they still try to do, like, you go to New Carcinia, which is the big city where everybody is living and stuff, and you go there and it's very pretty and stuff like that, but there's not a lot going on there.
Right.
There's a couple of people to talk to and stuff, but other than that, there's not, like, any specific thing to this city going on or whatever. It's just kind of like, I don't know, it feels like the equivalent of walking into, I would say, SpongeBob is kind of like the best example of, like, you go into the Bikini Bottom and the SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, and it's just like, it looks like it, but then you can't go into the Krusty Krab or anything like that.
Yeah, it's all just,
you can't.
It's just like the aesthetic of it. It's not,
There's not, like, a car crash and then, like, somebody's getting arrested, and then over there's, like, Plankton dealing with, like, you know, whatever.
Right.
It's same thing with this, where, like, there's things there, but they don't feel... I mean, they feel natural, but they don't feel lived. Like, they don't feel like a reason. Yeah, it just feels
just structured to your convenience type thing,
and And then once you get out of New Carcinia, it goes back to the open ocean, which they call it the sands between, which is cute. But it's like, this is an open. It's literally as open as you can go, but now you got to stick to this one path, because if you go outside of this path, this thing is going to come out of nowhere and kill you. Which is cool for that one part. But then again, random enemy crabs pop up everywhere and stuff, and there's just not a lot in between that section.
It is weird that a game in the ocean feels more closed off than something like Elden Ring or something, which is technically like on an island, but
Right, but Elden Ring feels lived in and like
No,
there's
absolutely.
shit
That's what I
going
mean.
on.
It's like you think.
Yeah.
But that's my other complaint is like I think that's something else we were excited for, like ocean life everywhere, and it's just
Right.
like 80% crabs and
Yeah.
some electric eels or something. You know, like it's not
Yeah, I haven't
ton
had a
of
lot of
variety.
enemy variety. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like big crab, little crab.
Lobster, crab, yeah.
Yeah.
Other
E-
shelled thing.
every boss that I've had has been a lobster, pretty much.
Which is crazy because there's a cajillion different creatures in the ocean and
Right.
so many otherworldly entities beyond that that live down there that you could pull from.
Right.
And it's like the first 4 bosses are crab renditions of personalities and stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Green crab, blue crab.
the speed run I think as of this morning is like 32 minutes.
Oh, really?
As of
That's
when I was
crazy.
watching it this morning. 32 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. They really have whittled that down.
Damn. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. But maybe after I beat it. I don't want to spoil myself because maybe there is a cool boss.
Yeah.
Maybe there is like a giant anglerfish.
It does get pretty cool.
Or whatever.
I mean, the bosses that I've seen throughout the speed run, obviously they skip a lot of stuff
How do they?
with.
Oh yeah, I guess they're probably like.
There's certain ways to jump over
Yeah,
certain things because the map is technically all connected.
Right.
So there's ways to like wall jump to like other regions. And
Yeah,
things
without
and,
having to beat anyone.
Yeah, without technically doing any glitches.
Yeah.
You can just kind of do it because there's not like boundary walls in certain areas and stuff. But
Right.
so I haven't seen every single boss. I know there's some secret bosses that they obviously wouldn't even
Yeah.
touch in a speed run, but the ones that I have seen get pretty cool.
There are a couple of side bosses like the that stands between one that comes out of nowhere and kills you. Like that is a boss.
Mm-hmm.
And I did try to fight it, but it was just like obviously I can't right now.
Right.
It's meant to be a threat. But then yeah, there's a few hidden ones, but every single hidden one that I found is just like a lobster.
Right, it's another clawed thing. There's so much room for random.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of put a weird plate of armor on top of a crab
Yeah.
that's already armored.
The randomness is what kind of trash they're holding, and then even then the garbage that they're holding becomes repetitive
Yeah,
as well.
even some of it doesn't even make sense. So it's like
Right. Like,
there's just a lot. They tried. I don't know. I don't really know like their full idea behind it, other than like underwater Souls-like.
Yeah.
The story's cute so far that I've seen. The parts that I
Yeah.
haven't been skipped or whatever, but
yeah, it's fine. It's
like I said, I feel like it's a little overrated.
there's a lot of talking. That's
It's not calling my name like Liza P.
Right.
You know?
for sure. Yeah, I'm kind of half debating on just going to the next game, but it is something I do have half a mind to finish.
But it's
at
not an
least in my
incredibly
own
long
time.
game.
Yeah,
It's the main storyline.
I've seen both sides of that where like I've seen like 29-hour playtimes and I've seen like 10-hour playtimes, and it's like, well, how much is that is just like, are you bad at the game or are you like going out of your way to like find everything kind of
Right,
thing?
are you going back and grinding a little bit and
Right.
doing all the side stuff and fully exploring everything?
Right. I haven't needed to grind yet. I thought I was going to, and then got over it, and then I went somewhere else. But once you start getting like the movement abilities and stuff like that, it feels nice, and you kind of get to all your secret areas and stuff, and really you don't have to grind because honestly, the bread claws and stuff will level you up enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to play something new. It's
Mhm.
pretty much where I'm at. It's like next big thing. It's probably Little Kitty Big City is probably what I'm gonna touch next.
I think
but
that's where I'm going to.
yeah, I mean Hellblade's out now, so
Yeah.
maybe I'll touch that. Maybe I'll stream it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it's next gen only, so you can stream it to your OG Xbox.
Oh word.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think that's a show.
Yeah.
You do gotta go.
Probably.
You got plans.
I gotta go play frisbee golf.
Yeah, you gotta drive ahead.
Despite what the haters say.
So we will call it there. We will be back on Tuesday of next week. Tuesday is back to our normal day of recording. So we will see you next Tuesday.
Maybe.
Maybe.
You
Until
never
then.
know.
Yeah, right. Until then, I'm Ben. This is Patrick.
Hey, I'm Patrick.
It's been fun. It's been real. Peace out, Cub Scouts. Bye.
Take it easy.